following PPE. If they're coming into our home, they need to make sure that they're safe to enter our. I also have a question on the presentation regarding the bond. So all those projects look wonderful. I hope to visit them in person someday soon. But my concern is the bond. Did that include Temple Academy in that bond, the upgrades, the 21st century classrooms? I believe that it did, because the board supposedly was not even aware that they were going to lease or get rid of that property. So if the money, if Temple was included in that bond and now Temple's being sold, does that mean that the money is going to be refunded to the residents and the taxpayers of the community? I know you can't answer me right now, but I think we deserve an answer on that one. And then also for the presentation, it showed that they purchased some tables, but because of COVID, they are going to be using different single ones now instead. So how many tables were purchased in advance? And because now we're going to singles, are those tables, are we going to be able to return them to whomever we purchased them from for a full refund or replacement? Also, let's see, my next item is, you have agenda item 7.02A, which is approve Mr. Henry Gonzalez as the Board of Education's attendant appointee to the Personnel Commission for a 3-year term. So this is your appointment and I respect that. I'm not going to interfere in that process. However, I will remind you about the comments made by school board member Gino Kwok and Joseph Chang when they both said that the board should reappoint Mr. Gonzalez because his spouse is an employee of the district. I hope to the principles of the merit system and on the qualifications. And those comments made do not merit those principles. Board members, I'd like to remind you again that there is still staff shortages at NCS. Help desk is still experiencing a large number of calls for service throughout the day. Now, we understand, as was stated earlier, that some technicians are there until 7. However, that does not alleviate all the calls that are coming in throughout the day when the students are actually in classes and when they're experiencing these difficulties, unable to log into their classrooms, unable to turn on their computers, unable to get the hotspot going. So students have to wait long periods of time for diagnostic testing and replacing technical equipment. Parents are leaving messages and not receiving calls back. This is in no way the fault of the NCS techs or help desk. It is your fault for not taking action to remedy this situation so that students can continue to learn. Distance learning is difficult for everyone, but if the district is not providing the staffing to address these issues, then the district is failing the students, especially for those already experiencing problems and failing classes. And we have quite a few students who are failing classes. So I urge you, board members, to please add additional funding so that Dr. Tan can hire additional staff. COVID is not going to simply disappear, which means that virtual learning will possibly remain for at least the next couple of years. And who knows, this may even be a new normal of learning in our futures. You are members of the school board. Please get the students the help they need to be successful. Approve agreement between Hacienda La Puente Unified School District and Scholastic Education to provide literacy professional development to district teachers and administrators from September 25th, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. So CSCA is still waiting on trainings for our members. I reached out to Judy Fancher regarding this because there's nothing mentioned about classified receiving this professional development, yet instructional aides need to be there to support the teacher and the students. So how can we not be included in this? So I reached out to her and she did respond. So thank you, Judy. And she said that CSEA will be included. So we will hold you to that, district. We will hold you to that, Judy. And again, have you received or will you receive COVID funding? Because that funding allows you to put some of that money to good use and train and provide professional development to all of your employees. Educating your employees is never a waste of money, just like educating students is also not a waste. That is our job, that is our duty, that is our role. CSEA will be meeting to negotiate the supplemental early retirement plan. Also, the special ed return to classroom and the certification requirements to job descriptions, which are all mandatory subjects of bargaining. So I'd like to remind you of that. Any change in working conditions is a mandatory subject of bargaining, which means CERP is a mandatory subject of bargaining. And CSEA is upset to see that the district is already moving forward with Keenan. They're having Keenan meetings who are addressing these CERPs. CSEA does not negotiate with Keenan. CSEA negotiates with the district. So before all this information is even being given out to our members, we need to sit down and negotiate. There are things that could possibly be different, but we won't know that until we actually sit down with the district to discuss what is exactly this plan. CSEA will also be meeting with HLPTA, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, or HLPTA and the district, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, to discuss instructional aids supporting the teachers and students virtually. This should have been done months ago, but with working together with HLPTA, Billy Joe Wright, we have been able to get this moving forward with the district. These students need to have that additional support from the instructional aides. The teachers need to have the additional support from the instructional aides. And both of us we both know we need to work together so that the CSEA instructional aides have what is needed and know what is needed in order to provide that. This is the only way that we're going to make sure that our students succeed. The teachers are doing an awesome job, and we want to be there to help them. As the Forbes magazine article. So thank you, Dr. Jimenez, for that. Thank you, Billy Joe, for that. However, there are a lot of great things in this district, but recently, or for a long time, that has not been the case. Sadly, it has not been the case. So an email was sent out district-wide regarding a Forbes magazine article. It states that HLPUSD has been recognized by Forbes magazine as one of America's best employers in the top 50 employers of California. I was surprised and shocked when I seen that. So Forbes is an American business magazine owned by Forbes Incorporated, published bi-weekly. It features original articles on finance, industry, investing, and marketing topics. Forbes also reports on related subjects such as technology, communication, science, and law. I don't understand how HLPUSD was included in Forbes since we are not a finance company. We are in an educational institution that receives state and federal monies. Let's see, in the last few years, Every association has gone into impasse with the district. Excuse me. All associations have brought up multiple times that there is a lack of communication and transparency. We are not treated as equal partners. We are paying, CSCA members are paying, or even other employees are paying between $5,000 and up to $10,000 a year for our medical benefits. That is extremely high, especially considering other neighboring chapters whose districts pay the full cost for their employees. A large number of CSCA members pay 50% of health premiums, and a large number of CSCA members do not even qualify for health benefits. The district refuses to increase its contribution towards health and welfare unless it comes from any possible salary increase. There is bullying in the district. Employees are afraid to speak up because they fear retaliation. The district attempted to waive articles of the collective bargaining agreements, then add the issues that the school board and the district have caused within the community, which are transparency or lack of communication, selling of properties, bullying, and fear of retaliation. Behind on the bond schedule, being and losing, causing the district to use taxpayer money to pay for those losses, plus more to come due to that. So I don't see how we got the top 50 in California. I don't know how that happened. I sent an email to Forbes magazine because I really would like to know where they secured their data and survey, because CSCA was never surveyed. I love and we love HLPUSD, and we believe the majority of employees also love HLPUSD. But we need leaders and management to bring back that feeling of family. We need them to make people feel respected and thank them for the work that they do. Everyone takes pride in their work, in our home, in our community, and employees need to know that they are appreciated and respected. CSCA has members physically at work every day and are at risk every day for COVID. And yet we still have principals refusing to have CSCA members work remotely from home. They're even refusing to provide the request form to them. There should be no cause for delay, especially because confirmed COVID cases continue in HLPUSD. CSCA is concerned that as of today, there are now 3 confirmed COVID cases at Los Altos High School, possibly within the 2-week period, which is a critical situation. According to the reopening of schools, it may be necessary and required to close the school if it falls within those guidelines. Safety should always be the priority, and CSCA will be looking into the matter for the well-being and health of its members, as well as the safety for all. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right, 4.01B, audience members who filed requests to speak. First up, we have Ingrid Liang.
Hi, thank you so much, everyone. My name is Ingrid Liang, and I actually attended Cedar Lane and Wilson High School here. I'm still a member of this community. And I'm also a volunteer with an organization called rapidtest.org. We've been working very closely with Dr. Michael Mina, an epidemiologist from Harvard, who has been the voice of authority on rapid testing. And I want to make it very clear before I get into anything that everyone in our organizations on volunteer basis, we have no financial gain in any way. We're all doing this out of our genuine desire to get out of this pandemic as soon as possible, and all done based on science. And our organization is currently looking for schools who are open to pilot a rapid testing study. So let me tell you a little bit about rapid testing, these rapid daily antigen tests. It's a transmission indicating test, an affordable at-home test that can get you the results in 15 minutes. Unlike our current testing system where you have to wait days for results. By the time you get it, it's useless. So we'll be, we can give these tests to students, and if they test positive that day, they don't go to school, they stay home and quarantine for 14 days until they test negative. And if they test negative that day, today, because I'm personally super strict about, following all the guidelines of COVID. So what I'm proposing is, in addition to all the guidelines that we currently have, like keeping social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing, and all that good stuff. So this is going to be on top of what we're already doing to ensure the safety of reopening school. So I personally think this is a great way to safely reopen our school. And of course, this is, and especially given that we are currently in the purple stage, we definitely need to, keep doing what we're already doing. And I know that we are still doing distance learning, which is very difficult on kids and parents. And so this is one of the reasons why I really want to propose this potential solution to the district, and have you guys consider volunteering for a pilot study with us. And this is something I also want to bring to the teachers union. I wouldn't feel comfortable just proposing this to the school district without having the teachers union on board with us as well, because I personally have a lot of friends who are teachers. So I completely understand and hear your concerns in terms of returning to work in an unsafe environment. That is not what we want either. But we genuinely believe that this is something that could be helpful in terms of reopening school in a very safe way. So I would love, so my ask tonight is for you guys to consider at least open discussion, continue to discuss with me to be part of this pilot study. And I will follow up through email with you guys.
Thank you, Ingrid. Next, we have Hannah Lloyd.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Hannah. Go ahead and begin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hannah Lloyd. I'm the mother of 2 students that attend Temple Academy. I wanted to know what our options are going to be for the next year due to Temple Academy permanently closing. My sons also both have autism and IEPs, and I wanted to know if there's any plans to start in-person therapies this year for students with IEPs that need that in-person structure. Distance learning is not one size fits all. I know a lot of parents, with kids with different abilities across the board are struggling with this heavily. I know LA County posted that schools may offer assessments and/or specialized on-campus support/services only for students with individualized education programs or English learners beginning September 14, 2020. Those receiving services are required to maintain small groups of no more than 12 students and 2 supervisors. That's all for my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Next, we have Christine Salazar.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
You can, Christine. Go ahead and begin.
Perfect. Hello, my name is Christine Salazar, and I'm a parent and resident of Hacienda La Puente.